It is fantasy football season, and trying to decide how to approach your draft, it can be a massive headache. In this series, I'm going draft slot by draft slot, talking over what you can expect to see from your draft position, what strategies you can use, which players you might want to take, and which players you might want to avoid. We'll touch on the sleepers available later on, and we'll even run through a super quick mock draft so you can see exactly how I would draft from each position. In this video, we're picking from the 106, and these are the players you can expect to see there. Amon-Ra St. Brown. After the true elite wide receivers are off the board, Amon-Ra St. Brown represents easily the best of the rest. Over 3 seasons, Amon-Ra St. Brown has 3,588 receiving yards on 429 targets. That's the 6th most among wide receivers in that spell. He only trails Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson. In 27 out of 52 career games, St. Brown has managed to score either a touchdown or 80 plus receiving yards. That gives managers an absolute fantastic floor for fantasy, but it also brings you a really high ceiling. Bijan Robinson. No team in the NFL received a more significant offensive upgrade this season than the Atlanta Falcons. While you've got Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix there, and that is a messy situation, it really does ensure that the Falcons' skill position players have adequate quarterback play for the first time in years. That's not something we could say when we were dealing with Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder. Bijan, he outtouched Tyler Algier 272 to 204 in 2023. He also had 78 targets to Algier's 20, but he was kept off the field in red zone situations. He had 23 touches inside the red zone to Tyler Algier's 36. Bijan also only saw 3 carries inside the 5-yard line. Like, what the hell, Arthur Smith? Meanwhile, Tyler Algier had 6. Everything we've heard from the new coaching staff seems to suggest that they understand what a special talent they have in Bijan Robinson, and they are not going to make the same mistakes that Arthur Smith did. Breece Hall, despite playing with an absolute miserable set of quarterbacks and a horrible offensive line last year, not to mention coming off an ACL injury, Hall led all running backs with 93 targets and was second in receptions with 73. Due to the ineptitude of the Jets offense, however, Hall finished with only 8 touchdowns, tied for the 17th most at the position. 36 other running backs had more attempts inside the red zone than Breece Hall did. The Jets, they ranked 4th worst in percentage of drives to end in points at 26%. Even with Aaron Rodgers coming off the Achilles injury, that's going to improve this year. And Hall, he has VRB1 overall outcomes within his range. Picking at 106, there's still a couple of players who I don't want to pick here. A.J. Brown. The past year, it was a tale of two halves for Brown, who scored 22.6 points per game in weeks 1 to 9 before going off an absolute cliff and scoring only 12.3 points per game for the rest of the season. Devonta Smith is a certified stud and still managed to produce whilst A.J. Brown was struggling. He's got room to take another step this year, and the Eagles spent all this money on Saquon Barkley. They aren't going away from the ground game anytime soon. Puka Nacua. Nacua broke the NFL rookie receiving yards and receptions record with 105 receptions and 1,486 receiving yards. He also scored 6 touchdowns, but it's perhaps not worth taking him quite this early, particularly with him missing the next couple of weeks of training camp due to a knee injury. Cooper Kupp still looked good in 2023. He had a 25% target share, very close to Nakua's 28%, and his route participation was outdoing Nakua's at 92.8% compared to Nakua's 91.2%. Cooper Kupp has been healthy all off-season. The coaching staff are raving about how good he looks. Meanwhile, Nakua's missing time in training camp. It shouldn't be surprising if Cooper Kupp can really close the distance this year. We're going to use Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard to mock draft. It is insanely customizable. You can sync it to your leagues and automatically copy the settings in. Then it'll adjust the rankings for that. You can choose which expert rankings and insights you'd like to see, including mine, which are part of the expert consensus rankings of over 100 people from across the fantasy football industry. There's no waiting around for other people. Nobody taking 6 kickers in the mock draft. Instead, we can mock draft against the wizard, get feedback from top experts on our drafts. Check out the link in the description below to start your own mock drafts right now. If you are finding our videos for the first time, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button down below. We are ever so close to 3,000 subscribers. Here we do Dynasty, we do Best Ball, we do Redraft, we do DFS. We get you cooking all year long. Picking out of the 106, we're set for the 2024 season, half PPR, snake draft, QB1, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex position, 6 bench spots, a kicker, and a defense. Bijan Robinson at the 106 is far too good value to turn up. Marvin Harrison Jr. makes it to us at the 207. Let's add some real upside there. That feels like a good value to get him at. Let's add Jalen Waddle as well, who I know my guy Andrew Erickson absolutely loves. We've got a really fun core so far. We'll add Mark Andrews in as an elite tight end, see where this build takes us. You can see the quarterbacks starting to go off the board. Let's also add Amari Cooper. We're going to need to go running back heavy here in a little bit now to kind of catch up at this. Jalen Warren, I think, could absolutely be the RB1 in Pittsburgh this year. Devin Singletary is going to see a huge amount of volume in New York, and everything starts to feel a bit better at that point. Quarterback, there's nothing I really want to take too much, but Jaden Daniels' upside is too good to pass up when we consider that a lot of this league already has quarterback, though. Can we push it? Can we see if he comes back around to us and let us take Chase Brown, who seems like he could be the RB1 in Cincinnati? Jaden Daniels makes it to us. That's why these mock drafts are so fun. All these teams had quarterbacks already, and now we got the player we wanted at an excellent value in the 9th round. Cortland Sutton is 10th round pick. We need a wide receiver 4 by this point. Tight ends keep going off the board, but we're okay there with Mark Andrews. We really need him to pay off his cost. Curtis Samuel absolutely can be the Bills wide receiver 1 this year. Jalen Wright in the 12th round is absolutely a fun pick. You know, this is a rookie who could have huge outcomes if anything happened to Devin Achan or Raheem Mostert. Let's make the tight end position a position of strength and take TJ Hawkinson, who might miss a big chunk of the year, but if he's back in time for the bye weeks or down the stretch, we could get a lot of trade offers to other teams in our league. Let's round out the draft in the 14th round. We need a defense, we need a kicker. Let's take Evan McPherson, who kicks for the Bengals, who had a really good rookie season, slightly up and down season last year, but he can bounce back. We got a B+, 87 out of 100. The mock draft wizard, we took 2 players ranked in the top 3 at the position, Bijan Robinson and Mark Andrews. If we drafted DJ Moore at the 4-7 and drafted a tight end later, you could have scored 32 points higher. That's a fair point. Andrew Erickson of Fantasy Pros likes my draft more than any other expert. Well, there's a reason for that. I do a weekly show with Andrew, and you should go and check that out when you finish here. If you were picking for 106, what would you do differently? Let me know in the comments. We answer every single comment and question on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. Loads more redraft content heading your way soon. We will set you up to win big in 2024.